If you think about every character that has ever existed, the vast majority of them have some kind of character trait or special skill and ability that sets them apart from everyone else. The vast majority of superheroes have some kind of superpower which makes them recognisable. Superman can fly, Batman is the world's greatest detective, and Spider-Man does whatever a spider can. If you ask someone who isn't that into Sonic what Sonic's superpowers are, they'll probably respond with either, "Who is Sonic?" or "Super Speed." If you ask a fan or someone who's into gaming what superpowers Sonic has, you'll likely get answers along the following lines: Super Speed, the Spin Dash, the Super Peel Out, the Light Dash, and the Supersonic Transformation. And of course, he can use all those abilities to perform some crazy stunts and moves which seem almost like superpowers in themselves, such as wall running and even running over water. But there is one superpower that Sonic has which is so unusual and so obscure that I bet barely any of you even know about it, despite the fact I bet the vast majority of you watching this video have actually played the one game that this superpower actually appears in, because what I'm going to talk about today was mentioned in numerous official media and even appeared in a game itself. But this superpower is so rare and obscure that I think even Sega themselves have probably forgotten that this is actually one of Sonic's early powers and abilities. And that power is this.
Stop it, you. Stop it. Stop it. Come here. What do you think you're up to?
Yes. Sneezing. It turns out that one of Sonic's superpowers is very similar to Spider-Man's Spider Sense, and if you don't know what that is, I don't really know what to say. But basically, Spider-Man's Spider Sense is kind of a sixth sense that allows Peter Parker to be warned of danger or an approaching threat. Spider-Man isn't the only hero to possess an ability like this. The most recent example of a character displaying this ability that I can think of is Will from Stranger Things. He gets goosebumps on the back of his neck whenever danger approaches. And there are plenty of other characters out there who have a form of danger sense or some kind of precognitive ability to warn them of danger. But Sonic the Hedgehog, the character who is known mostly for eating chili dogs, running at the speed of sound, spin attacking badniks, also has this ability, which expresses itself in the form of sneezing. So some of you are probably thinking, what?
I've played every single Sonic game. I've read every single issue of Archie and Fleetway. I've watched all the cartoons. I am the world's greatest Sonic fan. Worship me! And I've never heard of this.
Well, it is a real power that Sonic does apparently have, and I'm going to explain how it works and how far back this power actually goes. But first, it's time for a bit of history! Shortly after the release of Sonic 1, when Sega saw just how huge and popular both the game and the character had become worldwide, they instructed their marketing teams in every region of the world to begin crafting a story and gave them a set of rules and a structure in order to create a world for the character to live in. This would help both the fans of the game understand who Sonic was and also increase the potential marketing opportunities for the character. One of the earliest examples of wider Sonic media for Japan was the Sonic the Hedgehog manga, which was a serialized story published in the pages of Shogakukan's study magazines between 1992 and 1994. It was very loosely based on the games and contained mainly original story concepts. To give you some idea as to how loose it was, the main character was a hedgehog named Nicky, who had the power to transform into Sonic the Hedgehog. In this manga, Sonic is an alter ego type persona character and not his own unique character. Even Nicky doesn't know that he himself can transform into Sonic the Hedgehog. One day I'll talk about this in some more detail, but let's move on. This manga has the first recorded example of the Sonic sense, or the sneezing superpower. In this page from the manga, one of the villains, a lizard named Anton Veruca, is causing trouble in Hedgehog Town. In one panel we see Sonic and he starts to sneeze. The caption here tells us that Sonic will sneeze when a crisis approaches, and then in the next panel, we see Anton confronting Sonic. So I know what some of you are probably thinking, and that's, ha ha ha, that doesn't count. It's not exactly canon. It would be like how in Fleetway's Sonic the comic, Sonic actually has a fear of spiders, and we suddenly somehow claim that that's now an actual canon character trait. But this ability isn't just limited to Japan and this manga, it also appeared in a European promotional item. The food company Danone did numerous promotional tie-ins with Sega during the 90s, including a pin badge set and these 3 stickers. The stickers promotion appears to be dated between 1992 and 1993 due to the inclusion of tails and the lack of knuckles in any of the items. And in one of the stickers, which I actually have here, it depicts Sonic sneezing as he encounters an Orbanaut badnik. There's even the word achoo printed on it. Danger approaches and Sonic started sneezing. But if you're not convinced, how about this? It also appeared in a strategy guide to one of the video games. In 1997, Sonic Jam was released on the Sega Saturn, and in Japan there was also an accompanying strategy guide. In this guide, there are several small character profiles for each of the main cast of characters, and for Sonic, there's an extremely interesting bit of detail. That being, whenever danger approaches Sonic and he senses it, he begins to sneeze. And this guide isn't an unofficial piece of media, it's an officially licensed Sega product which has gone through approval, meaning this piece of media is valid and canon. So I know that some of you are probably still not convinced. You're probably thinking, that's just a strategy guide and a cheap promotional thing, it still doesn't count. And I know some of you won't be convinced unless I can show you this superpower happening in an actual video game that was made by Sega and is recognised as being canon material, right? Well, there is one. Sonic CD was released in 1993 and has been recognised by Sega as an in-canon game. It's referenced multiple times in other games as well. It introduced Amy Rose and Metal Sonic, who have also made multiple main title appearances. It is, without a doubt, a first-party, official Sonic game which is canon within the Sonic timeline and the main story. And it contains the only in-game reference to Sonic having the Sonic Sense super sneezing power. And every one of you that has played this game has likely already seen it, because it's in one of the game's coolest moments, the intro. The now iconic intro shows Sonic speeding towards Never Lake. During this sequence, Sonic shows off all his iconic moves from both the game and one or two from history itself. We see him run, roll, perform the peel out, wall run, and even kind of a loop-the-loop sort of run, and even a run on water. And then there's this. Blink and you'll miss it. He sneezes. When he finally reaches Never Lake, he stops and sneezes. And then what happens next? There's an explosion, and part of the mountain collapses onto Sonic. Sonic then jumps to avoid various boulders, and even spin attacks through one of them to escape. As it was written in the manga, Sonic started to sneeze when a crisis approached, and as the Sonic Jam manual put it, when Sonic sensed danger, he started to sneeze. I was amazed when I found this. I'd seen the sneeze in the animation before, but it never occurred to me why Sonic did that. Yet there is an actual explanation for this, and it's another superpower which Sonic has that just isn't used or referenced anymore. I think it's amazing that there are two clear references explaining what this power is and how it actually works, and also an in-game example of the power too. But to further add to this, Sonic CD actually has some unused sprites which show Sonic sneezing. This GIF shows what the animation might have looked like had it been used in the game. Now, it is possible that this animation might have just triggered when Sonic encounters enemies who trail the pollen-like gas, but I could also see it being used for boss encounters, since the bosses in Sonic CD do take a few seconds to appear on the screen and activate. It's possible that Sonic could have been frozen in place and then the sneezing animation started. But would you believe there's actually another reference to the sneeze, which is located in Japan's Tokyo Joypolis? If you've seen any pictures or video of Joypolis, you've probably heard about the huge Sonic statue that they have in the Sonic Carnival area of the park. But what you might not know is that there's a button just at the base of the statue, which when pressed makes Sonic speak to you, and one of these sounds is of Sonic sneezing. Yes, there's actually an up-to-date example of Sonic sneezing in Sega's Tokyo Joypolis. Now, the Joypolis Twitter account did actually claim that the reason for the sneeze was that Sonic actually suffers from hay fever, but I have to wonder if this is just their explanation for it, and whoever actually chose the clips for this statue did in fact see old pieces of lore that Sonic sneezes upon sensing danger. There's actually a small sample of the sneeze which I'm going to play for you now that was uploaded to Tumblr. The clip is clearly ripped from a video, but the person who posted it to Tumblr didn't provide a source. Another fun piece of lore from this statue is that one audio clip states that Sonic is a keen reader on rainy days. What I find most incredible about all of this is that the first recorded evidence of this superpower takes place at some point between 1992 and 1993. The final, definitive reference to it takes place in 1997. And if you don't think that the Joy Police statue is an example of it, it's still at minimum a 4 to 5 year gap where Sega were actually encouraging this as being an actual superpower that Sonic has. So I have to wonder if there are actually other references to this power which also show it in action. Now there have been instances in comics and cartoons where Sonic has sneezed, but normally this is due to him reacting to pepper or having a cold. To my knowledge, there isn't anything else out there that states or that clearly shows that Sonic has a form of spider sense or Sonic sense early warning superpower. But if you happen to know of any clear-cut cases of Sonic being warned to danger by sneezing, please let me know in the comments, because I think this is a really fun piece of lost lore which Sega don't seem to be using anymore. So what do you think of this? Do you think this could be a fun little power, or would it just be annoying if Sonic kept sneezing every now and again? Should Sega reference it again? After all, Mania included tons of references to obscure and even beta-cut aspects of Sonic. Do you want to see the Sonic Sense return? Let me know in the comments. Special thanks to members of the Sonic Retro forums who compiled this information. Make sure to give them a little look. See you next time. If you enjoyed this look at the Sonic Sense, Sonic's most obscure superpower, please click that like button. And if you want to join the Badnik army, don't forget to click that subscribe and bell notification button. And if you'd like to continue the adventures, please follow me on Twitter. The videos I make wouldn't be possible without the help and support from my kind donators. So if you'd like to join Team Awesome, please use the donation options in the video description. But most of all, just thank you for taking the time out to enjoy the work I produce. It really does mean the world to me. Thank you.